Many times a business owner's first thought when faced with competition or just the need to increase sales is to discount their product. And my argument is that possibly is maybe necessary, but it should be the last possible thing you want to do. There's so many other things you can do. And I use this chart to kind of get the point across. It's really very simple. Across the top line up here is your present gross profit. And look at the case study. Make sure you know really what your gross profit is. Remember what gross profit is? Gross profit is your sales minus your cost of goods sold. It is the most important number for any business owner. So if your gross profit is 40% right there, and I discount it by 10%, and you discount by 10%, this amount here, to produce the same exact profit, your sales must increase by a third. All right. So it's really, really very simple. If if your gross profit is even smaller, I mean, I have restaurants that are 20%, or less. I mean, look at that. I mean, if I got a 20% and I decrease by 10%, I got to have a 100% increase in sales in order to get the same profit. That's crazy. All right. So before you do anything, make sure you think through what the effect of the discounting is. Now, it's this is off subject. We're talking about discounting, but one of the tricks we use a lot of time, especially if you're going up against the big boxes or somebody who's advertising a product, is to tier your products. All right. What I mean by that is creating product tiers: good, better, best. So we'll have a product where we match them. All right. But then we train our sales staff to upsell to the higher tier or to add on products so that we get our price back up to where we want it to be and our sales aren't discounted dramatically. So, I mean, just because you say you have to discount to match doesn't mean you have to discount your price. I know that sounds weird, but if you do the upselling and the cross-selling, you can often get to a point where you're discounting, but your average ticket gross profit isn't discounted. Now, another thing to think about is maybe you should be doing a price increase instead. Because here's the effect. Whoops, I didn't click. There we go. All right, that was interesting. Here's the effect of raising prices and what effect it has on your gross profit. So again, assume the same 40% and I increase price by 10%. First thing I hear from everybody, well, if I do that, I'm going to lose all my customers. Well, this kind of tells you how many of your customers need to leave, all right, to produce the same gross profit. And this is kind of misleading. That should say your sales must decrease by, well, that was interesting. Sorry about that. Let's fix that. All right. In order to get the same, you would need to have a 20% decrease in order to have to before you start losing money. All right. One out of every five customers would have to walk away because you had a 10% increase in sales. Now, if I have a 20% margin, that's even less. I mean, that's even higher. I have to lose one out of three. Sorry, let's go right here. At a 10% increase in price. So, moral of the story is maybe you ought to think about raising prices. Yeah, you're going to lose some customers, but they're probably customers you don't want. They're the price sensitive ones. Look, remember, if you're going up against the big boys, you can't beat them on price. They buy. They buy in bulk. They get better pricing than you ever will. You're going to have to be a specialty shop providing specialty service at a special price. And people want value. They don't necessarily want price. Now, if I raise my price by 10% and I lose one out of every five customers and I'm still making the same profit, well, what the heck's wrong with that? I've gotten rid of the people that are price conscious and I'm going to work a little bit less. And more importantly, I got capacity to go out and get the good customers. All right. So understanding discounting and the effect of price increase is huge. So until next time, this is Wayne Blau saying let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.